From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Pape, and this is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science, all in under 5 minutes. Today is our very first episode, and we are talking about maple syrup. Why not start on a sweet note? Maple syrup, the stuff you drizzle on pancakes, or as I love, my wife's oatmeal waffles. It might be more than just a sugary treat because new research suggests it could have surprising health benefits. But does this mean it's the ultimate sweetener? Let's dive in. Researchers from Laval University in Quebec recently studied the effects of replacing refined sugar with pure maple syrup. Their findings are fascinating because participants who swapped out refined sugar saw improvements in blood sugar control, lower blood pressure, reduced abdominal fat, and even enhanced gut health. So what makes maple syrup different from other sweeteners? The secret lies in its natural polyphenols. These are plant compounds, and they act as antioxidants. They reduce inflammation. They help regulate blood sugar. They also seem to support the growth of beneficial gut bacteria, which is a huge win all around for overall health, especially if you love that maple syrup, which we do up here in New England. What's also interesting is that this isn't just about maple syrup being quote-unquote natural. Unlike refined sugar, it retains nutrients like manganese and zinc, which play a role in immune health and metabolism. But, and this is important, it's still a source of sugar and calories. And you will find that on this show, we do not demonize any particular food. We don't call out foods as good or bad. There is really no such thing as a superfood. Any food can work for you in the right context, and it depends on the context. We'll be getting into that in future episodes. Now, here's something to think about. This study highlights the potential for making smarter choices about your sweeteners. You can still have sweeteners, obviously, but it doesn't mean you should start pouring maple syrup over every meal just because it might be quote-unquote good for you, which again, we are not going to use those labels. And a tablespoon of maple syrup, if you track it, has about 50 calories, and that can add up quickly if you're not mindful about it. It also doesn't mean that other sweeteners are quote-unquote bad. In fact, a lot of the debate around sweeteners comes down to how much and how often you're using them. And we're probably going to address artificial sweeteners in the future as well, which again get demonized probably beyond what are deserved. Whether it's honey, agave, or even just plain added sugar, the real issue, as always, is overconsumption, not the sweetener itself. There's always a toxic level of almost anything, including water. And so let's not demonize sweeteners individually. But maple syrup itself does offer a nice balance. It is less processed than refined sugar, and it provides some health benefits while still delivering that delicious sweetness we crave. So how can you use maple syrup in a way that aligns with your health goals? Here are a few ideas. Number one, you can add a teaspoon to your morning oatmeal or overnight oats for some flavor without too much of a sugar spike. You can use it as a natural sweetener in salad dressings. Mix it with olive oil, lemon juice, and mustard, and you have a tangy, slightly sweet vinaigrette. You can drizzle it sparingly over plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese and balance the protein with a hint of sweetness. And I'm sure you can think of more. All of these options let you enjoy maple syrup without over-consuming, keeping your overall calorie intake in check as well. One more thing to keep in mind, while this research is promising, it is just one piece of the overall context. The healthiest diet is the one that prioritizes variety, balance, and nutrient-dense whole foods. Maple syrup might be a better choice than refined sugar in some cases, but it's no substitute for building that strong foundation of nutrition habits and balance. If this episode gave you a new perspective on sweeteners, definitely follow the show so you get the daily drop. And also check out my main podcast, Wits and Weights, where I dive deeper into topics like fat loss, muscle building, and sustainable nutrition. Follow this show wherever you listen to podcasts and share this episode with someone who loves breakfast as much as you do. Tomorrow, we're exploring how vitamin D might help older adults lower blood pressure. Tune in for another 5-minute science-packed episode of Nutrition Science Daily. See you then.